Hi everyone, Mikey79 here and welcome to this new deck video of Magic Duels. Today we're going back to a very old deck of mine that I've updated just recently, and that's the Orzhov Aura enchantment deck. Now this is really an oldie. I built it in Origins when it was only Origins. And yeah, a lot have changed since then, and I haven't played it since then, I guess, so I wanted to go back to it for a while now, and I think we got some new cool cards that go well with it. So let's check it out, what I've made of it. So, in my opinion, there are a few ways how you can go with it, with this type of decks. And one of the ways is, yeah, to go more controlling and play suppression bonds and imprisoned in the moon and things like that. But I didn't want to go that way. Instead I want to put auras on my creatures and go for lots of damage as quickly as possible. Now it's not that fast of a deck. It's got some mid game and late game going on as well. So yeah, just let's just check it out. So our first creature is Lone Rider. For 2 mana we get a 1/1 first strike lifelink, which is not that exciting. The first strike is kinda neat. And at the beginning of the end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, we get to transform. Now we do play some life gain cards, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. And with all the auras, if you put an aura on him, he will transform pretty fast. And when he does, he becomes a 4/4 first strike trample lifelink. Now for 2 mana, that's a pretty decent creature that you can get. Of course, the deck where it goes into must be a bit built to it that you can gain some life, but it's a pretty decent creature in this deck. Then this one we all know, it stayed in from Origins, Grasp of the Hieromancer. For 2 mana, we get to enchant a creature. That creature gets +1/+1, and whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Now, of course, this is great to tap out a defending creature so that our creature gets protected from other creatures. Yeah, I mean that he can block him to death, for example, with a bunch of creatures. And or else we can, if he only has 1 blocker up, we can tap that one out and get it, make sure that the damage gets through. Then aura that I actually really like, Infernal Scarring. It's also 2 mana and it's also from Origins still. You never see it anymore, I guess. It's been a long time since I saw this card online. Anyway, it's an aura. You get to enchant your creature. It gets +2/+0 and has, when this creature dies, draw a card. So basically you don't lose a card when you play this, because if your creature dies, it's usually 2 for 1 with the removal spell or something, and yeah, you go down on card advantage. This card counters that a bit because it replaces itself most of the time when the creature dies. Now it doesn't count with exile, so Declaration in Stone and all those things, Anguished Unmaking, when they do that on your creature doesn't die because it doesn't go to the graveyard, so it's getting exiled instead, and then the ability of the Infernal Scarring doesn't count. You don't get to draw a card, so that's the downside. But still, most of the time you get to draw your card. And we do play a lot of first strike creatures, and then +2 is really nice. Talking of first strike creatures, Thalia, Heretic, Cathar, 3 mana, a white, and we get a 3/2 first strike, and creatures and non-basic lands your opponent controls enter the battlefield tapped. So yeah, this one does see a lot of play. You see her a lot, and with good reason. She's just awesome. And another Origin card that I still like, Blessed Spirits. It's 3 mana and you get a 2/2 flying, which is already okay. And whenever you're gonna cast an enchantment, he's gonna get a +1/+1 counter on him, which is pretty decent. And he's got evasion on his own, so that's pretty nice. Then of course, Heliod's Pilgrim, we do wanna thin our deck out and get some auras in our hand. And that's the whole point about this one. You pay 3 mana for a 1/2, which is, yeah, not that exciting, but anyway, you get to search your library for an aura card when she enters the battlefield. reveal that card, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So pretty neat. Then if our auras wind up into the graveyard, which will probably happen sooner or later, then this guy can get them back. So we pay 3 mana for a 3/2, which is a decent body already. And when he enters the battlefield, you may return target aura or equipment. Now we don't play equipments, but we sure do play auras. Card from your graveyard to your hand. So yeah, pretty nice. Then still an Origins card, because it's got great synergy with auras and enchantments overall. And yeah, it's actually the card that made me want to build this kind of deck back in the day. So still like it, still nice. Blood Curse Knight, 3 mana, a generic, a white and a black. We get a 3/2 Vampire Knight, and as long as you control an enchantment, he gets +1/+1 and lifelink, which is pretty neat. Then actually the only spot removal I guess that we play is Anguished Unmaking, but it's so good that you just gotta play it when you play these colors. It solves almost every problem. So we do have some life gain going on, so the 3 life is really not an issue. Then another card where we lose some life with is Read the Bones, just to make sure that we don't run out of gas. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. For 3 mana, pretty decent. Then another creature with evasion that we don't mind putting some enchantments on is Gisela, the Broken Blade. For 4 mana we get a 4/3 flying first strike lifelink, which is actually a mini Baneslayer Angel. And at the beginning of our end step, if you both own control Gisela, the Broken Blade, and Bruna, then we get to exile them. And then we get Brizella, the Voice of Nightmares, and she's got flying, first strike, vigilance and lifelink, and she's a 9/10, so pretty damn good. And your opponents can't cast spells with converted mana cost 3 or less. So most spot removal is out of the question. Then Kalitas, yeah, he's got lifelink, and yeah, if your opponent starts blocking or his creatures die or whatever, yeah, we get a 2/2 black zombie, which is pretty nice. He's a 4-drop, a 3/4. I figured if you're gonna enchant him, if you're gonna put an aura on him with a lifelink, that's pretty awesome. Then, of course, the enchantment that made me go back to this deck is Angelic Destiny, of course. You have to play it in this kind of deck. Yeah, for 4 mana, 2 white, we get an aura, and the enchanted creature gets +4/+4, has flying and first strike, and is an angel in addition to its other types. And when the creature dies, return Angelic Destiny to its owner's hand. So most of the time they can't get rid of it. Now the meta does have some solutions to it, of course, like the Anguished Unmaking or the Declaration in Stone. It's the same story as with the Infernal Scarring that I told you guys with this card. If they exile your creature, this one winds up in the graveyard because, yeah, your creature doesn't die. It gets exiled. When it gets exiled, then this winds up in the graveyard. But then we can recur it with the Ironclad Slayer, for example. So that it winds up in the graveyard is not that big of a deal. It's probably worse when they exile the enchantment itself with an Anguished Unmaking, for example. Then Archangel Avacyn, I play her basically because when she flips, if she flips, then it's a mini wipe, and I don't want to play a dedicated card like Languish in this type of deck, because that will usually be a card that you don't want to play, I guess. Your creatures are usually big enough to hold back aggro or to do more damage than aggro, perhaps. Anyway, she has flash, flying, vigilance, and when she enters the battlefield, your creatures gain indestructible. And when a non-angel creature you control dies, transform her at the beginning of the next upkeep, and then she becomes the Purifier, and this one deals 3 damage when she transforms into this form to each creature and opponent. So, and she's a 6/5 flying, so pretty damn good creature, still is. Then the Sigil of the Empty Throne. Of course, we play a lot of enchantments, so this one has its value. He is 5 mana, and usually when you play him, nothing will happen, because if you play him on your 5th turn, yeah, you play this and yeah, nothing happens. So it can be tricky sometimes, but it's just too good not to play it. You get an 4/4 white angel every time you cast an enchantment. So yeah, even if they counter your enchantment, you get your angel. So pretty damn good. Then Soaring Grim Nemesis, very known planeswalker, 6 mana, 6 loyalty counters on it when he enters the battlefield. The +1 is card advantage and damage to your opponent. The -X is board control, and the -9 is something that I personally almost never use, but I guess it's okay. But it's vulnerable to a wipe, so that's why I don't play it most of the time. And then of course Bruna, the Fading Light for 7 mana. Yeah, we get this 5/7 angel that can get an angel back or a human back from our graveyard to the battlefield. She's got flying, vigilance, and hopefully we can transform her in Gisela, which is usually a good game. Then for the mana base, yeah, I play 29 white spells and 13 black. So I play 12 plains, 6 swamp, 2 isolated chapel, and 4 forbidden sanctuary. And that is it, guys. That's the deck. So let's check out the curve. So we got a bunch of 2-drops, even more 3-drops, and then we have 3 4-drops, 3 5-drops, and 2 6+ drops. So pretty nice curve. Yeah, I like it, and I've played with it, tested it a bit, and it does nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I will see you guys at the gameplay video. See you guys, bye bye, have a nice day.